Ready.
Get your wits about you.
No more of them comments. Setting it up, redirecting.
Gee, man, you're
You're good to go.
We're live.
Jeff, hold on
You up?
just a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just letting everybody get back to their chairs.
I missed one you said.
All right, I would like to call to order tonight's meeting of the Huntingburg City Council. Tonight is April 28th and the time is 5:31. If y'all would please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. Grant us wisdom, clarity, and respect for one another as we make decisions for the common good. Guide us to act with integrity, fairness, and compassion in all we do. Amen.
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 In the absence of the mayor and the president pro tempore, I would suggest that the council decide on one of you members to act as the presiding officer of the meeting.
I make a motion, let Jeff go ahead and continue the meeting.
I'll second.
You sure, Pam?
Yes, I'm okay.
Roll call,
The torch.
Kissling,
Aye.
Bounds,
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte,
Aye.
Ware,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, so thank you all, and let's begin with approval of the minutes. I assume everyone's had a chance to look those over, and I'll need a motion.
I move
When
to
you're
approve
ready.
the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call,
Thank you.
Kissling,
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte,
Aye.
Ware,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Next is the approval of the claims that are before us all. I'll need a motion to approve those claims.
Motion made.
First by
And a
Kissling.
second.
I'll
So we have
Can he
Tim?
make? He's made it.
Tim is a second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Roll call. Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte,
Aye.
Ware,
Aye.
5 ayes.
All right, in the mayor's category, thank you. In the mayor's category, we have one item to discuss, and that's communication software with Kenley Staffy. Thank you, Kenley.
Okay, so I think in front of you, you guys kind of have a breakdown of the communication softwares that we got quotes from. Why this kind of started is we don't have a great system of communicating really road closures, any like events happening. If you don't have Facebook, you don't really know about what's happening. So currently we have an email list set up and that goes out for road closures to like news sources and then like the USPS so they know when road closures are happening and then the superintendents and then it's posted on Facebook, but a lot of times people just ignore it on Facebook, so a lot of those posts is like really don't make it to the forefront of like people's feed. So we're having issues with that, people not really seeing the things they need to see because people are starting to ignore those posts, they ignore other posts. So that's really kind of why this whole thing started. Just the way our communication system's laid out, it's not great. So we started kind of looking into other softwares. Civic Plus, Everbridge, and Civify were the 3 softwares that we researched. So you can kind of see the pros and cons of each communication software. Civic Plus, what we wanted from this software is a way to manage the projects and for the projects to be managed by like superintendents or outside contractors. A lot of times we have outside contractors that'll come in and tell the superintendents when they're going to close the road, why they're going to close the road, and then they'll communicate that to me. So sometimes, and not by accident, probably most of the time, communication's lost somewhere between there and then something it changes on a whim. It's hard to get that communication down the line. So Civic Plus, the softwares that we would have needed to for what we really wanted to do, which is project management and communication at the same time, they had to offer us two softwares. One of the softwares was basically just text message, email, or calls to your phone. And then the other software was where residents or community members could go in and pinpoint like areas of concern. And then we could fix those area of concern from there. There really was no like project management within that though. So say the wastewater plant for right now, if we wanted to make project updates to that, it would strictly go to text messages and then, or emails. But there would be no way to actually go in and see like, oh, these are all the updates that have happened to the wastewater project, and easily access those. Everbridge was mainly just a communication software. It was sent text message, same forms of communication really. But there was no project management side to that. So it was kind of just your basic communication software. With Everbridge as well, it seemed like they focused a lot more on like the emergency management side of things. But we don't really, like, I'm not gonna text somebody if there's a tornado. We have so that's not really like what we were wanting as much. And then Civify was my overall favorite, is most expensive. I think there's a clickable link on there where you can kind of see Safe Haven they've implemented this software. It's project management and the communication aspect of it. So residents can actually go in and select what they want to be notified about. So we can have categories within that of, say, events, road closures, anything really that you can think of. We could make actual just categories within that system. And then they could go back as often as they'd like and check for updates on projects, or, oh, has the road been opened, and they would be notified of that road opening. So they're able to kind of select what they want, when they want to, how they want it to be received, and then actually go in and see like updates. They can have pictures within that as well. So the superintendents could upload pictures of projects that have been in the works for a while. And so that was more of like the project management side of things that we were hoping for. And then it kind of overlapped with the communication. Along with all of these, there were like specific areas that you could select on a map, which we've kind of needed for a while. So say there was a water main break on Van Buren Street for a certain section, you could actually go in that and circle the addresses that were affected. And if they're signed up for this software, they could go in there and notify them that way. So they wouldn't have to go knocking door to door. And it would be way quicker for all the superintendents. And of course, there's access to what they can change in there and what they can't. But so it was nice in that aspect too, of just like the direct communication from those side of things. But any questions on any of this?
So would a user manually sign up for this? Would announce it? They would sign up?
Yes,
to be-
so we would probably go through extensive signups, just to get as many people on board as we possibly could. And then they also, with most of these, Civic Plus and Everbridge, they don't have the QR code, but Civify does have like a QR code that you can attach to certain postings, and we could go and hand them door to door, or we could send them in utility billing inserts to like sign up that way. And then most of them had the like keyword. So say there was a road closure and you wanted to be updated about progress for the road closure. Say it was First Street, like the last year's project, you could type First Street to a certain text message number and be automatically enrolled in the text messages. And then your address and everything would be enrolled at that time, and you would kind of be in the system after that. So yeah, it would be a little bit more manual. Everbridge did have a function. It was more expensive, but they have like a database basically that they can automatically enroll people, but they don't suggest you use it unless it's like a dire emergency, basically, for permission user purposes. But so we couldn't just enroll people just to enroll people that way, but
All right.
Do they have a trial basis that we can do to see how the city is responsive to it? I just, as,
yeah,
as
no,
a
yeah.
parent, there, with, it seems like we have so many apps and I'm on all of them and I get all the notices, but so many of the teachers are like, well,
yeah.
80% of our classes turn this off and they're not getting any notifications. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So I
yeah.
don't, if it's something that people can utilize, because I know that not everybody has Facebook. My sister doesn't have Facebook, and so she has basically no communication with the city, kind of.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like, so I think we need something like that. but
Definitely
it's like,
something I
hate
can
to-
ask. I did not ask that question, but that's definitely something I could ask and see if we can maybe just do a trial.
Just to
for
see
a
what the
specific
interest
period of
is,
time.
and
Yeah.
if there's, I don't know.
So there would be two different distinct forms of communication. One would be a text message based and one would be an email based.
So there's really, I guess, 4 forms. You could do the text message, email, phone call, and then if you want to just go on the app, say you don't really want to subscribe to anything, but you want to go on the app and just see the updates happening when you want to see them, you could do that as well.
So you
That's
can
for
manually,
Simplify.
you could just download the app and go poke around
Yeah,
without,
yeah, and everything
without
would be there all the
becoming,
time. Yeah.
without being notified every time there's a
Yeah.
sewer closure.
Yep.
So,
And that's with Civify. Like Everbridge and Civic Plus, those are 2 different. They're all a little bit different, just their communication software in general.
Okay.
So who would be responsible for updating this? Like Jerry would update all the
So
water
I
stuff,
would
or you would
be-
do everything, the whole shebang?
I would be probably the main point. And then like say Jerry or I don't know, the
each one of
wastewater
Mhm.
each one of the utility departments could,
could have access to their
technically-
portion of it.
is there,
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of the question. Is there only, how many admin?
There are no, you can have as many as you want.
There's no limit to admin or
No.
contributors or whatever?
So
Because
like
then
the
we could have like the
merchants?
contractors too.
Mm.
Like say they have a road closing, they could have access just to that road closing and notify, hey, it's now open. So there's very like, we can make it as limited as possible, or we can give them as much access to possible as possible.
So they would be able to log in and send a message directly to the affected people
Yes,
without your involvement.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We just have to come up with a policy, I guess, on whether we would want them to be able
Yes,
to do
yeah,
that.
yep,
There'd be a, whatever, there'd be a boundary,
yeah,
there'd be some kind of a boundary there.
yeah. Where
It
you
may be,
like,
may be good on larger projects on just, we're shutting down the street today because we're doing a lateral replacement. I don't know that they need access to turn that off. and
Yeah.
on. I assume
and
that,
I would agree with that. It would just be a more like I could still do a lot of those, but like the big projects, like the wastewater project of when, maybe they'll have a weekly update. The contractor would have a weekly update of this is where we are, or monthly. I don't know. This is where we are at
Yeah,
this
this
stage
is-
of the
yeah, this-
process.
this is what progress was made this week.
Yeah. So it could be where we could limit it to the contractors that are working on these really massive projects that, have a lot of updates throughout the year or whatever. And we could teach them how to use it from there.
So
but-
so it's a cost to get started, and then I assume there's an annual,
$10,000 a
Yeah.
year.
it's every year.
Yeah.
So that's your annual,
Mhm.
and
And then the
then,
1,000 would be the startup cost for Civify.
So is that 10,000 locked in for a certain amount of time, or are they able to change that every year
That was locked in.
or 1 year?
I don't know the exact number of years.
Just asking if we can get an extended.
Yeah, let me see
Thought it
the,
was 3 years.
I
The
saw
Civic-
one of them was 3. I
I
don't know which
thought
one
I
I was
had it
looking
on
at.
here. This says subscription end date of 2027, so that might just be 1 year.
It could be.
But I can
one of them was
clarify
3
that.
years, yeah. They do offer a free trial period.
they offer a free trial period, about a cool.
I think too, maybe if we did like, I would be interested in doing like a Google form or something, just to see how many residents would be
Would
interested
even
in something
want
like
to
this.
do
Or if
something
this
like
was
that.
something that a lot of this information we could get out with doing the website revamp and that being easier to do, if that could be like the front page of our website. I just don't want us to get locked into too many things and then people aren't utilizing them and we're,
Yeah,
stuck
Yeah.
paying for them. So if it's, but I also don't want, I have Facebook, so I don't want to, people who don't have Facebook, I don't want to keep them in the dark either. But if there's a way that we can,
Maybe gauge interest before we jump in.
yeah, I think I would be interested in that, something. And I think too that people who are willing to fill out the Google form are the people who are willing to sign up for this
That-
as
yep.
well. So,
I don't know much about Facebook, but someone that does told me one time that when you make a post, only like 12% of your friends actually even see it. It's not that, I mean, it's like, it only sends it out to a real small fraction of
Yeah.
the total number
And
of.
then it's based off of how many interactions you get from there. So if you're getting more interactions, it's gonna push it out to more people. If it's something that's not being interacted with at all, it's basically gonna be hidden in their feed and people just aren't gonna see
well, I
it.
think mainly the way that I utilize it, if there's something like a road closure, then I go to Facebook and look for details. That's how I'm, personally as a citizen, that's how I'm utilizing it. So I think that's kind of what this would do, is that it would just give it to me, but I don't know, I guess everybody gets data differently. I prefer to like seek it out because I get so much coming at me, so I only want, and I know you can probably select what you want to come at you,
Yeah.
but, I
I-
don't know, I would just be interested in people,
That's-
like, people's input as to if this is something they would be interested in. and
Yeah,
to
this isn't
utilize.
I didn't mention this, but we have a lot of like language barriers in certain cases.
Mhm.
This would also give us access to where people can choose their language that they want to receive messages in. So that would be another nice aspect of it. Like they can have every single notification and every single update be in their selected language, which that would be
Mhm.
just kind of a positive
Very
all
positive,
around.
very
Can you select what you want to get notified about?
Yes.
Or it's just all or nothing?
Civify is what you want to get notified about, so you can select
I
from
only
there.
want to get notified about whatever projects or whatever.
Yeah,
Then it
yeah.
would, other things I would have to go seek out.
Yeah.
Unless I sign up for that alert.
Unless you sign up for that, yeah. So it's kind of just up to you on what you want to know about. Some people don't care about road closings at all, and some people want to know about all of them. So it's just kind of up to
Agreed.
you.
Yeah,
And is this
The hard
one-
part with Facebook right now is like, it's not that it's bad, but a lot of it's just being ignored because a lot of people don't really care about a certain road closing or
What's
unless
the
it affects
project
them.
that's- What's what's the process for signing up? Is this the one where they have a QR code or is that?
Yes,
other
the
one?
Civify is the one they have the QR code. They also have the code word, whatever you want to call it, where they would text the word to a certain number and then they would be automatically subscribed to that section. And then you could also go through the app and sign up that way. So we would have sign up processes like that.
I'm curious if, I don't know what our certain ability is to do things. But I'm probably gonna dump this on the utility department, but they send out a notice and they put that in. But there's a fair amount of people that never open their utility bills because they're automatically paid.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last time I saw it. Only time I get one of those notices is my wife says, you need to read this. But can we put a QR code on the outside of the envelope?
I don't know. That would,
We could buy envelopes with that QR code.
or maybe we could
sign
put
up
like
for
a
this-
sticker.
or
Maybe we
stickers,
could
sign
create
up for
stickers and-
our- blah, blah, blah. Because it's
Yeah.
on the envelope, then you're gonna look at
Yeah,
it.
we could probably create stickers for the envelopes, I would think. I don't know, that might be a.
Or have
Oh,
one.
no, yo,
batch
your
of custom envelopes.
communication.
Can you think of it?
Yeah, who's gonna be responsible for putting them on?
Circumstance where something like this could be used, like maybe announcing the city's plans for the 250th
Yes.
anniversary of our country,
So,
and we could
like,
send it to everybody. or
Yeah, like
occasionally-
events like that, we could have on there where we can have updates for the 555. You could have updates of all what's happening for that. I'm trying to think. I saw a
Yeah, I
bunch
only
of really
see,
cool
I
ones
only
on the
see
New
a certain
Haven.
percentage of things that come across. I mean, I'm on my phone on Facebook every day, but I don't see everything from the city. I don't know why my algorithm or whatever doesn't give me everything. I saw something about Fourth Fridays. I haven't seen anything about 555, nothing.
Yeah. And
You know, I mean, it's just, I don't know. They just don't send it to me.
yeah.
Is it City of Huntingburg not in your search history there? Cause I got the 555. Just depends where we look at. I'm kidding. You have to go to the site and follow it or
Yeah.
like it, and then I think it
And
comes
then it
up.
Well, I, just because I follow it, don't mean they send it to you.
That's true too.
Facebook
It
is
is your
completely a
algorithm. It
mess.
just depends what it is and what else is in there.
You probably don't get
Yeah.
pictures of pickup trucks for sale either.
But yeah,
Uh,
we
I
don't
got
have
a
to make a
question for you.
decision tonight either. I mean,
Well,
if this
I
is
think-
something that we wanna,
In my opinion, you've done a lot of research on this. There is a big cost difference between the cheapest and the others, but if the cheapest is not gonna do what we want to do, we may as well do what you recommend and get the program's gonna do what you want it to do. And you
Yeah.
can customize it as need be.
yeah.
Right.
The really like driving factor to that one too was the fact that like they're constantly updating and this guy is based out of Fort Wayne, so it is an Indiana-based company. He actually worked in the street department for years and years and years, and he was running into these issues of like, how do you communicate with residents? How do you keep them updated? And he's constantly updating his software system. So it was just, some of these other companies just seemed like a lot bigger. Their processes were a lot different. They were hard to communicate with in and of themselves to even get like some of these quotes. They were very, like 7.5 was very straightforward of like, this is what we offer. This is what we think is good for you. So I don't know. Some
I
of
think-
those things too, it like pushes you one way or the other, of just how they communicate up
our-
front.
What's our commitment? 1 year? Or do you have to sign up for
It
3?
actually provides that you can cancel at any time.
Yeah.
It does now. I'm not sure there's a pro rata refund of,
Of your
payments.
investment.
It doesn't say that, but it does say subscriber can cancel at any time.
Are there any communities around here that have already begun using it that we might be able to reach out to and see?
New Haven would probably be the best one, the one that we kind of
It's in the
were,
demo.
yeah, and that was in the demo. But I could contact him and ask him for other communities.
I just wondered if it was, someplace close by where we might already
Yeah,
know
where
some
we can,
people that-
yeah.
Okay.
I guess I would be interested in that to see like, what the cancellation policy is and if it is like, if it's refunded based on our pro
Mhm.
rata or our
Yeah.
usage, because I think that we either have it, if we do a survey of the city, the residents and see what they're interested in, or we do it for 6 months and we say, okay, only 2% of people are signing up. This isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Because I think really with the website revamp and that being something that we can actually, that people are utilizing more and can
Mhm.
use it as a resource, I think that might be something that, I don't know, I hate to spend money for the sake of spending money if people aren't utilizing it. If this is a tool people are using, then I think that's fantastic. But if it's not gonna be something that we have a significant amount of people using,
I'm
That's
just
fair.
curious, but could a system like this be used for city polling? Like, for example, if occasionally we were proposing some type of a community awareness meeting
Mhm.
and we wanted everybody in town that was signed up for it to get the message, that we could do that, of course, but I know we couldn't use the system to see if people wanted to use the system, but
Yeah.
but in the future, if there was other issues that it maybe could be used to
Yeah.
gauge sentiment from people in the community.
So
as
this
to whether-
system really can be what you want it to be. Like, so you could surround the entire city of, I want everybody to get this communication. And then you could send out, hey, this is the link. This is the message with the link in it. Go take this survey. This is why it's important, whatever. Alter it to whatever you would want to say.
Yeah,
But that,
okay.
yeah, we would have that ability.
Well, I guess as usual. How are you paying for this?
It would be split between utilities. So or not just utilities, I guess every department that's utilizing the service. So
So the council would have a portion too, or not?
what,
Would the council and the mayor have a portion too, or just?
Yes.
I would assume, yes.
Well, there you go. Mhm.
So it's 5 ways, you're saying
I think.
gas, electric, water, sewer, council.
Mayor?
Would the mayor's office also, if so,
I
be
don't know
6?
how that works.
I don't either.
You got the answer for that?
Well, the mayor and the council are
Mhm.
all under the general
Mhm.
fund, so that
Same group.
you'd be hitting the general fund twice if you do that.
So
Basically, it's
So
a
the five-way split would be
before.
So the general fund would pay a
one-
fifth.
Yes.
1/5 of the total. I don't really have any, if we have a cancellation that you can cancel at any time. I don't know how you're gonna survey people if they're gonna use it, do you?
No.
I mean, if we would approve it, I think it's in your hands to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And
I
if it
think
doesn't,
it
and if
would
it doesn't,
be
then we would need
tries.
reporting back if
Yeah.
it's not working.
Yes, and
we
we
don't wanna
can,
fund it
if
for
you want
next-
me to come back in 6 months, say, once we get it implemented, you want me to come back in 6 months and say, this is how many users we have, this is
Yeah.
what's going right, this
We
is
would-
what's going wrong.
we would
I
need
can
some kind of
absolutely do
reporting.
that.
I would
If
think
you
so.
want us to financially support it,
Yeah.
I think we need some kind of reporting
Yeah,
that says,
absolutely.
hey, this is working, or we're up to 23%, in
Yeah.
our first 6 months or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what a good number is. Some people don't want to know anything about what's going on, and some people want to know, we'll sign up for everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
What-
absolutely can do
so-
that though. Provide any reports.
Hey, Kayla, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
What's your time frame if we approve this, we'll get it online and going, right?
I believe he said a couple, like 3 to 4, a couple months, I think. Let me look.
I would think so. Nothing moves that
I
fast.
think he said like 2 to 3 months for Civify.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have that paperwork right in front of me. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. Here.
Well, that's no big deal. I just got to hear how long it would take.
Hmm.
Have you, has anybody spoken to the other departments to see how that, how they feel about it? But if they're gonna use it or if they're gonna pay for it or anything like that?
Two of them are
I
here.
think Mayor mentioned something, no?
Three of them.
I don't know.
Okay.
John is stuck again.
Huh?
That's right, yeah. Three
Yeah, three
departments are
of them,
here.
3 of them are here.
How long does the free trial last?
It doesn't say, it just, free trial is available.
Free trials available. I think you could try that.
Paragraph 17 of the master agreement.
April, could you see any way that transportation could use it?
Does
Messages
utility
to
building use-
riders?
Only if they're not, only if
Do
they're-
most
you
of
were
the
down or
riders have
something.
cell phones that are
Emails.
like smart ones? I mean,
Yeah, most of our writers are, probably don't have stuff like that, apps and stuff like that.
yeah.
Most of them don't even have phones, but, they have some phones in the family that they share. But we get the email and that's how we know. And then we radio them and let them know. Usually first thing in the morning, Kenley sends things out and we talk to our drivers. We have a little meeting before they go out to drive and we'll let them know, what streets are, what departments are working where. But most of the time, I think they're just going down the road and they forget and they'll see it and just go the other way.
Right.
Kind of like me and you.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Okay, so maybe we could table this for tonight.
Okay.
And, have a chance to get some feedback from the department heads and, people in the community, talk amongst ourselves and then, have it back on the agenda for the next meeting, maybe? How would you guys feel about that?
I would like that idea. That's a great
So
idea.
meeting in like 2 weeks, that meeting, okay.
May
Yep.
12th.
I've known-
I'll second that motion.
To that.
Perfect.
If
If you have
everybody's
any,
on board
if you have
with
any
it.
questions in the meantime, let me know, like,
Yeah,
if-
sure.
whatever, email me. And then I'll get some of those questions answered of what we had earlier. And then website's going good, so we got our first design back, so it's moving in the right the right direction. So,
Good.
Good.
yeah,
Is that
stay there.
something you would be able to comment on next meeting?
The
Like,
website?
Is there enough information to report? on the
Yeah, I
call?
could probably, we just got our first like iteration of the design. There's some things I don't love about it. So I could provide an update of the design and like kind of
Be
what we're
helpful.
gonna do that there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can do
Alright.
that. Okay,
Thank you, Kayla.
Perfect, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Transit Director April Blessinger, with a consideration for a resolution authorizing filing of a CY 2027.
Yep, that's what I need,
application.
yes. I know that you guys agreed for me to go ahead and file
the grant for 2027 at the last meeting, but, I failed to give the mayor the or let the mayor know that I needed to ask for the resolution authorizing the filing. So,
Yeah, you have a resolution that's provided, I guess, by NDOT, or perhaps by US
Yes.
Department of Transportation, essentially authorizing the mayor to certify various certificates and assurances and to enter into the contract if awarded, if the grant is awarded, and it designates April Blessinger as the individual authorized to make application and provide information necessary.
Okay, anything else you need to add, or should we just ask for the motion?
The resolution number be 2026-16.
Okay, I will entertain a motion on the matter at hand.
Motion to approve.
In a second,
I'll second.
She already seconded.
That's fine.
Okay.
okay?
Who seconded then?
Pam.
Pulte?
Pam.
Okay, roll call. Kissling?
Aye.
Bounds?
Aye.
McFerrin?
Aye.
Pulte?
Aye.
Ware?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Very good. Thank you, April.
thank you. Have a good night.
Next on the agenda is Energy Superintendent John Rudapeller. Welcome, John.
Oh, council. Start with the gas department. Our main push has been replacing the gas meters with the census. We did change out 92 last month, which is real good. And most of the crew's been working on that. Really putting a push on that because I want to be completed by May of next year. We have 352 meters left to change out. Right now, gas, electric, and wastewater, we're paying 2 annual support maintenance contracts, one with Itron and one with Census. And that contract with Itron runs from May to May. So if we can be all finished up by next May, we won't have to pay that. So that's one of my goals. I've got like a little over 700 electric meters to change out, which should be done this year. I'm putting the main push on getting the gas because you turn the gas off, change the meter out, we can't turn it back on until somebody's home. So that's, it takes a lot of extra, longer time to change them out. So that's what my main push has been. And then one of the gas crews are going around working on the farm taps. It's not really a farm that we're going to. I have a couple of pictures there of what a farm tap is. It's a high pressure, a house that's on a high pressure line where we got to cut down the pressure. As you can see in the picture, there's a regulator there and there's a backup regulator.
It's redundant.
And we also have a relief vent on there in case it would over pressurize. Mainly we got them on our county road where we got really high pressure. So kind of been working on them, checking them, touching them up with some paint. Just make sure everything's looking good on them. We don't want any of them to fail. And then I do have a quote for 100 census gas meters. You have the quote there in front of you for $47,581. Would like to get approval on. Like I say, I got 350 left. So I'd like to get 100 in right now from Grubner.
Let's go ahead and vote on that.
Make a motion.
Need a motion
Make a motion, go ahead and approve the purchase.
and a second.
I'll second.
Roll call. Kissling?
Aye.
Bounds?
Aye.
McFerrin?
Aye.
Pulte?
Aye.
Ware?
Aye.
5 ayes.
And then Kim Howell and Kelsey Ernie, they did go to Greenwood on the 21st of this month to meet with the IURC staff for the audit coming up in October on public awareness. They kind of went over what they're going to be looking for when they come down for the audit. They kind of went over the questions that are going to be asked so we can kind of prepare for when they come down and to make the audit go a lot smoother. So they took the whole day to go up there and go over it with them. So that was good.
we feel like it's gonna go pretty well. Kelsey's she's really, learning it, which is really helping Kim out some, because there's a lot of, goes into, with these audits. It gets pretty in-depth. Any questions on the gas? Moving on to the electric. We did cut down a couple big trees, or one was the street department, and the other one was the park department. If you see from the picture, pretty good sized tree. We were extended up all the way. It was a good thing there was nothing around, so we could feel like we could top it pretty safe. It was along a walking trail. It's kind of getting dead, so safety precaution. We were asked to help cut it down, so felt like we could do it. You can see how tall it is. It's pretty good size.
Is that the new truck?
No, that's the old one.
Okay,
Didn't want a tree limb falling on it,
good.
but then we relocated a pole at Shelby Street, Highway 64 for the NDOT project next year. I think they're gonna repave 64 from city limits to city limits. They're redoing a handicap corner there, so one of our poles was in the way. So we had to relocate it behind, move it about 6 feet. So it took a little bit of work to do that, but we did get her. Then we replaced 2 poles down by the Casey's, that are along the highway, with some ductile poles. They were kind of old and getting kind of weak, so along the highway there, so we put them ductile poles to work. That turned out real good. And they did finish up Poplar Ridge. We got the conduit all run to the buildings that you see up. We got the transformer set today or yesterday. Got the wire pulled in halfway, and the rain came, so we had to pull off. But that is getting ready for completion. I think they want to be up and going in one of the buildings by June 1st, ready for occupants. So that's ongoing. And then new truck did come in a week from Friday. It was ordered July of 2023. We did approve it at the council meeting for $354,918 with the price subject to change. We were just coming out of the COVID then. They wouldn't guarantee a price. So the total did come in at $380,611. Probably need approval for the records, I think. Is that right, Phil?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the bucket truck price at $380,611.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes.
So is this a real picture like we have it, or they've just sent you
Yeah,
a
that's
picture?
it.
We have it?
We got it in last Friday.
Are we gonna drive around, smell the new car, take it in? No?
You driving
Okay.
here tonight, Jonathan?
They'll put you up in the air if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, no, just the new car smell. I'm good with that.
You know, that was only a 7%, little over 7% increase in 3 years in the price
Yeah.
that they told us to what it is now.
And one of the prices they quoted 24 chassis, which ended up being a 26 chassis.
That's pretty good.
But
Yeah, that is better than I was expecting.
and 5,600 was tariffs on the
Oh,
increase.
yeah.
Yeah,
You ought to be able to get that back.
Might get a refund. I don't know.
mine.
Anyway,
What brand
that's-
is the chassis? Or is the truck? I mean, I don't remember now.
International with
It's
Cummins.
International?
Yeah, International with a Cummins diesel, an Allison transmission.
Been so long, I can't remember.
The old one's got a max force, the old one, and
Yeah.
a couple places won't even work on them anymore.
No, it's pretty old.
Had a lot of problems with them, but hopefully won't be the case with this one. With that being said with the approval, I'd like to declare the 2008 bucket truck that's being replaced surplus. So I could put it in auction. The Terex, when they delivered the new truck, they took pictures of the old truck. And they said they got an auction company that they give all their used equipment to. So they took the pictures and they give them to the auction company. They're gonna let them know what the auction company's gonna give the company for it. Then they send it to auction. He gave me a rough estimate. It's gonna be around 20,000. I think we can get a lot more out of it. Cause he was kind of impressed on, it wasn't beat up and
Right.
rust all out, so. I'd like to get it declared surplus and get it on auction.
But we can put a minimum on the auction, right?
We can put a reserve on them.
Right. I would suggest you do that, and then we may take a chance to advertise it locally if we don't get what you think it's worth.
Yeah, I think we can get 50, 60, maybe.
Shoot big.
I don't want to give away for 20.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So I'd go ahead and declare it surplus so you can get it in the procedures, but I would put a minimum on the auction price.
Yeah. You have an idea of the minimum council wants to go?
If you think it's worth 40 to 50, I'd say go for it, you know? We may not get it, but
See what we get.
it's worth that, I'm sure.
I think the minimum should be at the very least whatever they're gonna give us for a trade-in, right?
Yeah, they're gonna let us know for sure what they're gonna give us for it.
Yeah.
We just gotta send the pictures to the auctioneer.
Do we need a motion to,
Yeah, well, I was gonna say,
Surplus.
anything you get more than the trade-in offer, you probably want to give him authority to consider. Because
Yeah.
that's, you're better off.
I would.
Yeah, you need a motion to declare it surplus and authorize the auction.
We have one ready.
Oh, that's.
Kinsler motioned ready.
I'm second.
Roll call, Kissling,
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte,
Aye.
Ware,
Aye.
5 ayes.
Any questions on the electric?
I just have a question in general, and we may have to address this towards billing. I understand we have a lot of out-of-town customers, like in Ireland and that type of thing with gas and maybe water, electric. And they're required to drive to Huntingburg to sign a release to turn off and turn on. Can we simplify that with electronically doing that, or does that have to be mandatory that they come to town?
To turn on?
To turn on or turn off, you have to come in and sign. From what I understand, they have to come and sign to get it done.
Like to turn their
Like the-
utilities off or just for a pause because they're
Yeah,
doing
a
work
lot
or
of your
something?
farmers obviously don't wanna pay for the gas meter in the winter time because they're using it for corn.
Mm.
And same with some residents, they may have electric heat, they may just need a gas lug place. So they want it on the winter time, so they don't wanna pay the
Mhm.
minimum all winter. So I think from what I understand, they're required to drive to Huntingburg and sign that paper.
Mm.
But if we can make that electronically available or not, I don't know.
Check into it.
I didn't realize we actually did that. I thought you were on it or off.
Yeah.
Well, is there
No.
like a re-hookup fee or like a turn
Yes.
it back on fee?
They
And
have
that's
to pay,
cheaper
they
than
have to
what
pay
the,
a fee to, but they can mail the check or put it on a credit card or whatever. Credit card, I guess they gotta pay the 3%, right?
There's an extra percent for that.
Right. But at $4 gallon gas,
Yeah,
driving to Huntingburg may not be, plus it's not convenient.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's something I'd check into.
There might be something too with the website. With that we can do, I think more things maybe electronically or through DocuSign or something on the website.
Thank
Any
you.
other Questions?
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, John. Up next, Water Superintendent Jerry Austin. Hello, Jerry.
Before I jump into distribution, there was a question asked last time I was here about our Patoka water contract. I did look into that. We still are 29 years to go on that contract, so it will run till May of 2055. I don't know whether it was you guys that asked that or the rate advisory board, but I did look into that. Want to make sure you guys knew that that date on that. So
I'll be here to vote on it.
yeah.
I plan to be too. I don't know if I'll be in the seat, but.
I'll be 104 years old.
You're voting too then, huh?
No, I'll just review the
I do
contract.
have a
Just happy to be here.
I do have a question. concerning Patoka.
Yeah.
I know I saw how many gallons you produce and how many we buy with high demand. God forbid something happens to Patoka Lake water supply. Can we produce enough water for the
We can.
city?
Yeah, currently,
Could, but we'd have to probably get on 24-hour shift.
yeah, we would have to run the plant a little bit more,
Enough water in the
Right.
lake?
yeah,
We do?
We hope.
as long as it keeps raining.
It's like, well, like, not very deep. I don't know.
As long as it keeps raining, but no, we can. I mean, weekly, we do run some employees on the weekends, depending on Farbest, whether they run on the weekends, things like that. Flushing season's a little different. We'll bring in some part-time guys, Friday afternoons, Saturdays and Sundays, but normally we just have two water operators that are full-time, works 80 hours a week there combined. So,
That was a question I had and it puts me at ease as I know we'll
Yeah.
have water.
yep.
How long was the term for the contract that we still have 29 years?
It was,
Initially 40 years, and then I think we re-upped at one point, we increased to add another 20 years for some, I can't recall why we did it, but
yeah.
we
Do you
added.
think in the future we'll do less and less from Patoka, or are we already at the minimum that they have?
No, there's always, I mean, that's always for discussion as far as the amount, the
Mhm.
allotment. I do think it would be in the city's best interest to always keep something.
Mhm.
That redundancy that's like gold to us. There's not
Mhm.
a lot of communities that have that and they really struggle.
Mhm.
There's been times with our lake. I spoke briefly last month about, bringing some new things to the water treatment plant to you guys here in the near future with an algicide. We're fighting algae just like everybody else is. And prior to, potentially introducing an algicide, there's days where the plant doesn't run for 4 days straight out there, fighting that just depending on the thermocline and the algae content and things like that. So it's, very important to the community that we do have that redundancy.
Mhm.
There's moving in the right direction to be able to compete with the algae in the lake, I guess, to be able to continue to produce that water. We just have to continue to grow and change with our needs. So, yeah. But from there, jump into distribution, we had 3 lead services that we replaced this last month. We've got them down to, we only have 9 in service currently that we are aware of. Those will get replaced. I'll be here in the next month. We'll be bringing another set of quotes to you guys for water line replacement on Geiger Street between 2nd and 3rd Street. That main was very, very constricted, very choked up. Real low flows in that area, plus those service lines that need to be replaced. The road's up for paving as far as the PASER rating goes. I've talked to Jason Stamm with that street superintendent, and he agrees that it's due for a full paving. So we might as well do the whole water main while we're there, putting 9 holes in the road anyways. So from there, with the wastewater plant ever growing, they're continuing to add their backflow and cross contamination protection. So we've been down there testing some backflows down there. We did have OFS has been doing some work to their building there on the Walnut and 3rd Street facility there. I'm not 100% sure what plant number that is. They've got so many of them. But during that time, we did find a couple abandoned services where there was houses there previously. The houses were demolished, factory was built, and the services were still there. We actually happened to stumble upon them before construction started with what they were doing. They would have definitely got dug out during the construction if we wouldn't have known they were there, though. So we did remove 4 old services there on the North 300 block of Walnut Street. And then during all this, we've our month has been pretty boring with completing our spring fire hydrant flushing. So from that, we do turn our valves in the spring. We found numerous issues with valves this go around. We were just at Geiger and First Avenue today, replaced 2 valves that would not shut down all the way, along with a fire hydrant. So we did that today. We've got 6 more fire hydrants and 5 more valves on our schedule to replace. So we've got a potential water leak, a small water leak up at Hickory Drive up on the top of the hill. We're going to be up there tomorrow investigating that. Looks like a small one. It's been something that we've been aware of for quite a few months. It when it was first brought to our attention, we went up there. The road was wet, but there wasn't no There wasn't no running water anywhere. We went up there every day for the following week, and it was dry again. It was brought to my attention this last week. Glenn Kissling gave me a call, and he had somebody reach out to him about it. So we went back up there. We are actually able to hear it with our listening device this time. It's spoke to a couple homeowners up there. It's been wet for about a week and a half now. So we're going to dig it up and see what we have there. I assume there was an old service there that that's on the paper maps. So I'm assuming that it might be an old service that's leaking that runs to nowhere. But we're going to jump into that tomorrow, and then we'll get back on our fire hydrant replacements and our valve replacements. From there, did have Owen Hunefeld and Josh Rogie complete an IDEM backflow and cross contamination certification class. That's an IDEM course. That is the way that we do it with James Probes. It is a full college semester course. He does it in 4 days. They're there for about 45 hours those 4 days, and then on Friday they do their testing. They do a 100-question written test plus a hands-on portion of that as well. So I'd like to congratulate those guys for knocking that out. We've currently every employee that's a full-time employee of the City of Huntingburg Water Department holds that certification, which only helps us with being able to know what to look for as far as potential cross-contamination issues out in our system with factories, restaurants, and things along those lines. So other than that, I didn't have it on there, but we do have Poplar Ridge. We're getting ready to do a 6-inch meter set there. We'll be working with their contractors. That'll be a large diameter vault. Thankfully, they have their contractors there they're able to do that work as well. So we'll be working with them. They are actually going to services that large are paid at cost to the city. So we work it out with their contractors where the contractor just builds it to our spec. We stay involved as far as inspections, things like that there while they're doing the work. But other than that, the only thing they'll pay us for is a 6-inch meter, and the contractor will bill them for the rest of the work. It works out a little better, so we don't have to pay a contractor and then send them a bill to seek payment for that. Other than that, filter plant, there you can see we had some high numbers there. Those are 1 million gallons. So with flushing season, we normally see that 2 million gallon mark there a couple of days out of the month. Other than that, with the filter plant, Tim, I apologize. I didn't have them until later, but I did set some pictures up there for you guys. I'll put a set in your box, Tim.
Okay.
The first page that's that Obic lining after we went in and repaired all the leak points with hydraulic cement. That's a 3-part coating. So the blue that you see is the polyurea. The white that you see in the pictures is a close cell foam. So when they spray this system, there's a blue coating that they spray on first, which is the polyurea. Then they spray the foam on, and the foam is the only purpose of that foam is to resurface the surface. So anywhere there's, they call them bug eyes, but little indentions in the concrete or anything like that, they spray that foam there to be able to bring that out. That way when they put their second coat on, it's 100% sealed. Where if, the first coating could miss a crevice or something like that in that first coating. So those are just some pictures there that we were able to take. The second picture, the top picture is just the finish line that they did put around the coating itself. And this is the second coating that was done. That first coating we spoke about a couple of meetings ago that wasn't up to satisfaction. They did remove that in its entirety. Very tedious. They were down there with grinders, cutting it in sections and removing it with SDS drills with paddle bits. So miniature jackhammers, if you will, at that point. It was very stuck. So they spent almost 2 weeks removing what they sprayed on in a day. But this go round, very pleased with the crew that came in and did it. A lot better quality of work, and we're very happy with the completion of the liner. The bottom picture there is that monolithical floor. It is just like a false floor. that has, you see the red caps there. Once that concrete's poured, those red caps will be removed. And we will put what the filter system is called a diffuser. So our cells are gravity fed. The water comes in to the top of the filters at the end of the process. The water flows through the filter media, which is a carbon, anthracite, and sand. Anthracite is just crushed coconut shells. From there, it will flow through these little white tubes that have very small orifices on them that just help catch any last minute dirt particles for that matter. And then from there, it flows into our chemical feed zone where it gets treated with the last dose of chlorine before it's put into our clear wells and pumped out to the system. So that is poured in concrete. They did do that, and we have the filters full of water doing our last hydrostatic test on the filter cells to make sure they are 100% watertight. As far as a project schedule for that, they have given us an update. We do still have to mount simul-wash troughs in each of those. There's 2 troughs per filter cell. From there, ART, which is the company that sprayed the Obic material, will come back and spray around those troughs. There will be some fasteners that have to be put in the wall there once the troughs are set in place. So they'll come back in and reseal around those to make sure we still have our 100% watertight. And then we will be installing the filter media, and Kiefer's schedule is the week of 5/12 to 5/15. We'll have those filters back up and running and in operation. So we're a long time coming. We're super excited. We were shooting. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
So are we.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm tired of talking about this project. I've got more I need to talk about.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No,
Should have had him removed.
yeah, right. Other than that, that's where the filter project's going. Nothing, no projects other than a little bit more water main replacement this year, and then the chemicals that we spoke about the last couple of meetings. So just trying to get a few things out of the way here at a time, so we're not getting lost in projects.
That's good.
So other than that, our metering system, we're still monitoring that daily. We still hang door tags daily. Me and Blake Lindauer, our meter tech, we were just having that conversation this morning. He on any given day, he's hanging anywhere from 5 to 15 door tags a day for people with continuous water, for water leaks and things like that. So we do talk to the billing office. We get a lot of phone calls from residents with questions. Really, all we can do is notify the community. From that point, it's kind of in their hands to find the leak or contact a plumber or someone else that's able to pinpoint that leak for them. So it is a great program, and we do continue to carry that on.
That is a great program. We had a little mishap at our place last year where we were out of town and somebody used the bathroom, flushed the toilet and left, and it stuck open for about 3.5 days. And you guys did notify us, our door tag, but nobody was there to get it.
Right.
And when the bill came in, it was about, if I remember correctly, about $700 of additional water.
Yeah.
And so to catch that early, it saves people a lot of money.
It does. Yeah.
They should really appreciate the fact that we pay attention to that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's-
doesn't take long
And
to
it's no,
rack up a big bill.
no, not at all. And I mean, it's something, Blake, that's usually his first half hour to 45 minutes of his day is running through the census system, pulling the alarms out, getting his tags together. It's our census system's kind of a 2-part system. We have our R&I, which is the metering system, and then we use Census Analytics for our billing software. Our R&I doesn't have our addresses in them, but that is where we look at our leaks. So then we have to pull up our billing software side of things to be able to put the meter numbers with addresses in order to get the addresses to go out and hang the door tags. So there's a process there.
Do you think it would be easier if people, when you signed up for utilities, like you signed a release or something that they could call you? Would that make things faster if like just called them in the morning and said, hey, we have it? Or is that something,
The bad thing with that is you usually don't catch them.
yeah,
You need to leave a callback number.
yeah,
And we had that conversation earlier.
Right.
Who's calling you at 3 a.m.? So
Yeah.
we try to, we do, like whenever they call the billing office will, forward that onto us. And when we do make those phone calls, the guys do go back to the water plant to make those phone calls. It's their personal cell phones that they're using, and we try not to pass those phone numbers around to the community.
yeah.
Most people respect that, but there's some that they don't, when they have a problem, they just want to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
So, but we do. I know this thing that Kenley's looking at. I've talked to other water communities. Du Bois Water tried it. Patoka Water tried it, and it's great if you can get people involved to update their information. I know I've had this conversation with Debbie Aders in the billing office, and we try to get updated phone numbers for residents. And I know she said they've tried to send things out and mail and their utility bills, and we just don't get any feedback on it. Nobody wants to update their phone numbers. They don't want to take the time to do it, is what I assume. But we struggle with trying to track people down on instances where we hang 3 door tags. Usually we hang 3 door tags for leaks, and after that on the same leak, we quit hanging door tags. The amount of time it takes, we're doing it as a courtesy. At that point, in a sense, we're wasting our time that we could be fixing other things that need to be addressed. So we do try to make phone calls. We do try to reach out to the people just in case they're not understanding or things like that. But we do find a lot of times to where people, they don't update their information. Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
I thank you guys.
Good job.
Did I
Thanks, Ed.
miss- Are we done replacing all the meters?
We've just got the one at Farbest that we're trying to get scheduled with them as far as getting replaced. But yeah, I consider granted that's 3, but I consider it's pretty complete.
Well, I can tell you, thank you, because every year we've been on the council, Steve and Jeff, we've heard about water meters.
Pretty much.
And hopefully we're done
this
today.
year. It'll be the first year in how many years, John, since the city's had one metering system?
One.
You guys would probably know that better, Phil. Anyways.
Pretty much.
So.
Finally got there. All right.
Good
thank
job.
you. Next we have City Attorney Phil Schneider, regarding the Wagon Works apartment complex tax abatement.
Correct. Every year, those entities that have tax abatement have to file a report with the council, and the council has to consider whether or not they are in substantial compliance with the representations they made in connection with obtaining the abatements. Of course, as you know, the Wagon Works apartments are on East Fifth Street. It comprises of 56 apartments, 3 buildings, a clubhouse, parking lot, and a fenced-in pet park. It was initiated in May of 2019, completed in August of 2020. They estimated 1 employee at salaries of $54,080 a year. Their actual payroll in 2025 was $81,385. They estimated improvement costs of $8,014,000. The actual was $8,002,000. And so they are requesting that you find that they are in substantial compliance with what they represented they would be doing.
And that was a 10-year, right?
Yes, 10-year abatement.
Was it
So
an
we
even
need-
amount for Ken, or is it graded
No,
lower as we get
It
closer?
phases out.
Tenfold?
It phases out over the 10-year period.
So we need a motion on that, or what do we need?
Yes, a motion
Make a motion to adopt that.
to find them in substantial completion.
Yes, find them substantial completion.
And a second?
All second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
All right.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Bill, anything else?
No, I just have you as the presiding officer to sign right there, and then Tom or Amy should sign below you. Meaning, I guess, need to get that to Tom. He knows what to do with it.
Yes.
You'll probably sign it.
That's all.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Bill.
I think Amy has something.
Yes.
Next, we have the clerk treasurer's category. Amy, would you like to address what we're working on here?
Yeah, we are just wanting on record, for approval of transfer of funds from one fund to another. We have a contract with J.H. Rudolph for the 2026 Community Crossing, project, which you should have had a copy of that. The state gave us our 80% match. Our 20% match is 43,486.48. The mayor has in his lit ed plan a section for street improvements. So we are requesting the council to approve the transfer of the 20% match from the lit fund to Fund 4502 for the state grant of local road and bridge matching grant fund.
Okay, any comments?
We gotta pay it. I make a motion to do so.
Okay. Glenn has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Roll call, Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes.
We don't match, we don't get the money.
That's right.
Okay. Do we have any other items from the council? Or from Phil?
The BZA.
Have the BZA.
Was council item. I see that on the next category, right? So it has. Phil, maybe you can explain this better than I, but our council is able to appoint a member to the Board of Zoning Appeals for the remainder of a term that's been apparently vacated.
Yes.
Um,
I'm not sure how many years remain on that term. It's a 4-year term total, but there may be fewer than 4 years remaining to fill that term. And the council's appointment on this, on the Board of Zoning Appeals, is to be a citizen member, which means it's an individual who's not an employee of the city and is not an elected or appointed official in any other capacity. It's truly an individual who's a citizen. Their job, as you know, the Board of Zoning Appeals is to hear appeals from any decision made by the zoning and planning administrator, to be made from decisions by the Plan Commission, and they also hear applications for special exceptions and applications for variances. And they hear and decide those.
and currently there's
It's a
Four.
it's a 5-member board. The mayor appoints 3. The Plan Commission appoints 1 from among its members, and then the council appoints 1 citizen member.
okay, so this would make, this appointment
fifth.
would make 5.
The 5th one, yes.
So it's, so we have a citizen that has stepped forward and has agreed to serve at the council's appointment on that board. His name is Jesse Bolte. And I'd like to propose that Jesse be appointed to that position with the council approval.
Make a motion on approval.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Bolte.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Okay, we have filled it.
Guess that was an aye.
Yeah, I didn't hear him. He grunted.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any citizens items this evening?
I'll be quick.
Thank you. Just please state your name first.
Holly Bartle Gogol, resident of the BCA, or the BCA, goodness, ETJ, acronyms, goodness. Yeah, thank you for tonight, guys. I always appreciate learning more about the city, specifically the things you guys do with the utilities. So the tags, I learn something new every time I come to a meeting, but I'll wrap this up. I was wondering if there has been any progress made or discussion made on any changes to the UDO. So I know that that's been discussed in the past. Here I go with an acronym again. I know that's been brought up at previous meetings by members of the public. Different aspects of the UDO have been discussed, but if the council had any appetite to review that in its current form today with all of the changes we have going on in our country, right? Whether it be data centers, solar
bus, roadside fruit stands, whatever. I mean, the UDO covers a magnitude of different items. So I was just wondering if there was any thoughts around that.
Yeah, does anyone know of any activity that's been started already?
Of course, you have completed, or the Plan Commission has completed amending the UT, and you've adopted the ordinance amending the UDO to require that commercial solar facilities be special exceptions and not be permitted as of right in agricultural districts. So that's the only amendment that has been made to the UDO.
Is that just solar or is it to any major?
It's solar or anything that would be similar to that, that's not specifically set out. So the way the UDO is structured is that if a use isn't specifically set out, if that use is you look at what is similar, that uses that are set out that are similar to that, and those regulations apply to that. So, you know, if it were a wind farm, that's similar to a solar generation, and those regulations would apply to the wind farm.
What about data centers? Where do we stand on
The
those?
same thing. They would apply probably because it would be closest to a electric generation facility, which would require special use exception. With data centers, obviously, they're extremely, they require a lot of infrastructure, a lot of energy, a lot of water. This area would not be possibly able to even meet those needs. So the risk of there being one located in this area is somewhat remote. However, I'm not discouraging you from considering adding that to a special use exception or some other regulation on it. But if it were to be applied now, it would have to be a special use exception because it's most similar to solar energy.
I think we asked this question last time and you answered it, but if an application was received and it was asking for a special use exception, it would go before the Board of Zoning Appeals?
That's correct.
Those 5 folks that we just got through talking about, right?
Yes,
That's correct.
And so they would then have to, if you wouldn't mind, if you could quote those again.
Yeah, they would
cite
make
those.
findings. I don't remember exactly the 5 findings they have to make, but some of the more important ones are that they have to make a finding that the proposed use would not be injurious to the public health or welfare or safety of the area. It would not be injurious to property values in the area. It would be consistent with the comprehensive plan, and it would not be an overburden on infrastructure such as roads and utilities that are existing in the area. There's a 5th one, and I'm sorry, I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But if they find that any one of those are not met, then they do not approve the special use exception.
Do you feel
And
like,
it's done at a public hearing.
do you feel like that's as strict as it can be or as strict as it needs to be?
Again, it could probably be stricter, but I think that you would have to have some basis to make regulations more strict than that. There would have to be you can't just arbitrarily start throwing out numbers and setbacks and things like that. There has to be some rational basis to our interest that would achieve our interest if we're going to set out some regulations that they have to comply with. And that's where as I told you in the past, if you want to do that, if you want to write a new set of standards, we probably need technical advice on those standards. And we would probably need to hire consultants to assist in writing those standards. I don't think any one of us can just start pulling numbers out of the air and say that these numbers would meet our needs and would not be arbitrary or capricious.
That would
So
not suffice.
That'd be something we need to have Paul review when he gets back to work.
Right.
Did that answer your question?
So
Okay. I think we're at the level we can be at the current state. Now we could go, what I'm hearing is we could be more specific and more stringent, but that would take professional advice.
It's going to take some study, yeah,
Some
and
by
some
study.
consultation by technical experts.
I think
Yeah.
I would just like to see us be on the front end of it instead of always on the back end.
Yeah.
In the so whatever we need to have in place to catch these things at an earlier date. I think
Other
is
people
best.
are on the front end of it. They are way
Yeah.
on the front end of it, and we need to catch up. I agree. Do you know if there's any movement, or maybe you can comment about, because we're limited to our
Extraterritorial jurisdiction. Yeah,
Extraterritorial
it-
jurisdiction.
It's referred to as the 2 mile jurisdiction,
That's
but
not
we're less than,
technically
we're
right,
less
but-
than 2 mile, much less than 2 miles.
Has there been any anything positive on the county council front that?
The county, that's be more important.
Yeah, so I think they're working through their comprehensive plan to see where they're gonna go with the zoning and different things like that. Similarly to what Mr. Schneider was saying, you know, they're getting consultants. It's gonna take time to do all of that. So yeah, that's my understanding at the county level. Kind of echoing what you already said, there are other counties throughout the state of Indiana, but then also through the country that see the writing on the wall of what could be coming. And it's linked to everything from taxations for different ranges, different counties throughout the state to the grid, to, like, again, Mr. Schneider was saying, what are the local environmental restrictions or lack thereof. It's ever changing, this environment. So yeah, I think you can find whatever you want to find and see whatever you want to see being done throughout the country right now.
I do think that there's probably we could take a more stringent stance on things such as the impact of the construction on the roads and on our infrastructure as the cities or the counties. I think that's been wildly overlooked, at what the impact of you bringing in this much equipment and this much, traveling on the roads and doing. I think that's been overlooked, and I think that's probably what's stirring a lot of that at the county level as well. Because, they pretty much melt down any place they go, and they have that much equipment, they pretty much melt down the roads and everything around it, so.
I've heard there's a lot of impact even on emergency services, like the police officers at the city, state, county level. I mean, everybody,
I
like,
would
to
agree.
your point, so.
So if the county's redoing it, maybe we can see what they've got and review that and possibly adopt that into our ordinance. Let them pay for it.
The only note I'll make to that is that I think it's gonna be a long time.
Well, there's an election coming.
No, and that was my biggest question, is where you guys stand on it. If there's appetite to be, like Pam said, be proactive.
I think
with it.
when Paul gets back, we'll turn that over on his plate. He's probably got enough to do right now, working where he's at, being injured, recovering, I should say.
I think we want to be on the front side of it, but I think we need to know our boundaries and our limits, and no one on this council is an expert at that, really. We need to, and all that's time and money.
Yep. Understand.
There is an appetite for it, though. Absolutely.
Well, I'll keep in touch. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Holly.
Thank you.
There's no further items. They move to adjourn.
There's one further item.
Here we go, Dave.
Hello,
Come
Dave.
on up, Dave.
I wasn't gonna talk again, but then you guys brought something up. As far as UDO is concerned, special use, I think by not specifying BES's data centers and AI centers in that same verbiage, you're leaving the door open. Now, do you need technical expertise to add that to that UDO? No, you need the technical expertise when they could approach you to do it and then review it. Okay, just to put that verbiage in there, you don't need that. And second thing, can you tell us who Volte's replacing?
Someone who had left.
So-
I'm sorry, I don't remember who.
Riley Shoemaker, I think.
No, it's.
No, Nino, Mr. Nino.
Latino rep. Can't
Oh,
remember.
Nino?
Yes.
Oh, he's still
Primo.
listed on
Primo.
that website.
Primo.
Primo?
It might be
Okay.
Primo because he was,
He's moving.
yeah.
Oh,
Primo's
he is.
stepping
Okay.
Oh, that's the other one.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway, I just want you guys to consider that, because I think by not specifically adding those things to that section, because I can see somebody arguing, well, we're a data center. We're not a solar field. We're not producing energy. We're using energy. So there's going to be a gray area there. My opinion. Thanks.
I think that's a good
Well,
point taken.
it's true, but if we don't permit, if our UDO doesn't permit data centers, if they're not called out, they're not permitted. They're not allowed. But they're going to argue, but you should apply the standards of a use that is most similar to ours. Right now, we don't have data centers in our UDO, so technically.
And
the
you're
data
correct,
center
Phil.
applied, we
The
said,
likelihood is
"Can't."
very small, but I'm just saying,
Yep.
You're talking about getting ahead of this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to initiate an amendment to the UDO. Of course, you have to define what a data center is. Get a definition of what a data center is, get a definition of what a battery energy storage system is, and then make those special use exceptions, or have consultants to draft standards that would meet our needs.
Dave, I know you've done as much research as anybody on this project so far. Maybe you could keep your eye open next time you're searching, what some other cities and counties
Oh,
are.
yeah, we're doing that right now.
Towns have
There's, I
done.
mean, there's 92 counties in Indiana. I think 6 counties don't have any kind of zoning ordinances, and we're obviously one of them. This is becoming a big thing around the country. And so, yeah, I was just looking at a proposed ordinance on my phone while we were talking a while ago.
Okay,
So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there. All right, I appreciate it.
maybe you could provide some of that to us to get
Sure.
our
Sure, I can do that.
conversation started.
Yeah, and just, whatever direction you decide to go, I'm just here to help. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's no other items,
Motion to
Janet?
adjourn.
and then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, Kissling,
Aye.
Bounce, McFerrin,
Aye.
Bolte,
Aye.
Ware,
Aye.
5 ayes.
That was a bye.
Bye. He
Bye,
said,
Tim.
supposed to say aye, and he said bye.
Have a good evening. See ya.
Thank you, everybody.
Disconnect us there, yes, Pam?
Okay, but how do I?
Pam,
I thought that's what we parked in, like,
Oh, now, why?
there's an off button or something.
let's set your computer down, that'll work.
Thank you.
And then the Pam missed this
Pam
one, so
missed
that
one.
Pam will need to go to Pam.
Okay.
We're not sure how to turn